I want to give a big shout out to my favorite, okay, activists out of all the 95 activists that I have more activists that I've met, right? Yeah. Activist of the Year, Theo Chino, right? Yeah, I know he's watching. Big shout out to Theo, right? Yeah. Now we all know that Theo, right? I don't know if you remember at the last meeting we were at the county committee, but there's a guy come out with a movie about it. There was a guy filming for his film school, right? That movie's coming out, right? I was like, 0 votes, no, right? Yeah.
I remember.
How can we help Theo, man? I love this guy, man. He's trying to do the good work out here. What would you recommend for my boy Theo out here? Sweating his balls off, right? Yeah, getting disrespect. I got love for the guy. He's a lovable guy. I don't know how you feel about him, right? How can we help this guy,
I like
man?
Theo. I mean,
we need to do better for this guy, man. For real.
You and I have been we've been talking for years and years now. I like him. And he's got good passion. He's got a good heart.
So what's the 0 shit, bro? Oh my God, man! What can we do about this, man? How can we help this guy?
Well, actually, here's a really interesting. This is like this is almost to your point. Like ranked choice voting, for example, would really help Theo. The reason that nobody voted for Theo, nobody, right? Yeah.
Okay.
The reason nobody voted for Theo was because
there was like 5 or 6 votes or something, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was a very small
first round. Like as soon as I heard the first 0, because like there was different districts, I freaked out. I was like, nah, no.
So
anyways,
ultimately, you have a very contentious election. So this is for those who don't know, this was an election for the leadership of the Manhattan Democratic Party. So internal party politics, voted on by the county committee. Again, county committee, very important. These internal elections, very important. So it was a very contentious election. There was the incumbent, Domenico Minerva, who is the incumbent candidate. He's currently chair of the Manhattan Democratic Party, and he was for the last.
You got a good relation with this guy? You know this guy?
I mean, Nico's very nice. We get along pretty well.
I don't know him yet. Yeah, I just really don't.
Politically, we're not exactly aligned, but he's a nice guy. And like we have legitimate, good conversation. Like we can talk about what we agree on, right?
Cool.
And then you had this other candidate, Harvey Epstein, who is more of a reformer, right? He's from Lower Manhattan, and that election, that vote ended up coming down to that election came down to 8 votes, and people understood that this was going to be a very, very close race because Nico is the incumbent. He's also backed by Keith Wright, who's been county leader, this other really important position, and who was also an assemblyman. And they've been at this for a decade now. And Harvey Epstein is an assembly member, but he's sort of fresh face to the county politics situation. I mean, he's been on county committee forever, but to run for leadership, and he's offering to bring in some change. So people knew this was going to be tight, and they didn't want to risk voting for an unknown third candidate because the fight was really between somebody who's backed by.
How did they not know Theo? He's got a megaphone blowing the stuff up. What do you mean he's not known?
Well, known is more like, he's not an elect. This is politics. Things revolve around, do you have a base and do you have, political influence in other areas? And you're going up against an assembly member, a sitting assembly member, and somebody who used to be an assembly member and has been in power for 10 years. So, they don't want to take any chances. So they're all voting for one of these 2 people because, again, it came down to 8 votes. Like, do you want to be the one vote that
so you think that's all it is? It's not like anything like, he's not perceived in a certain way, or there's no like machine stuff. Like what should he really do? Like, like just build his base with the people and just talk to them and
for starters, yes, to go out and get more people up to the county committee who he's spoken to personally. This is the Rep My Block thing, right? He's been at this for a while, but getting that many people is quite difficult. You need at least a couple of hundred to really influence a leadership fight in the county party. But with a couple of hundred, if he really committed himself to organizing and getting those people, it's not impossible. This is
I'm down to be one. I'm down to be in the 100. Yeah, I'm down to be one.
Okay. So there you go. The next thing I would say is ranked choice voting, again, would really help. I think more people would have voted. Like I would have voted for Theo if I knew that my vote would then transfer to Harvey after the fact if Theo did not get a majority.
Oh, really? Oh, well, thank you for saying that. I'm honored. Yeah. Hey, Theo, you heard that right there. Right? I think you're watching, right? Yeah. How does it feel, Theo? It feels good, doesn't it? Yeah?
I like
Feel a
Theo.
little better about yourself. You do a lot of good work, man.
Yeah.
You deserve better. Yeah, go
But
ahead.
ultimately, right? Like, but the ultimate thing is like, I do think that you know, people do develop reputations in politics. I think that you know, there are definitely folks who don't take kindly to like Theo's bombastic nature. And then I would just say, you know, and I've told Theo this before to his face, just proofread your shit more.
I get it. You know, we're on the edge out here. You know what I mean? I get you, though. Yeah, I've got those typos, too. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, right. Like
Okay.
people,
Yeah.
like you can send people letters, but it's got to be, you know,
Yeah.
you got to send them a good letter.
It's got to be accurate. Yeah. Hey, I made those mistakes, too. I can't
Yeah.
hate, but I know what you're talking about.
That's
I know
how
what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
People are like, are you joking? I'm like, no.
Let's talk about